So I was trying to think of the two adjectives that I would use when describing the riding experience of the Honda ADV350, and I think the two that I would use are tranquil and serene, because that's exactly how I feel when I'm riding it. You know, you just kind of glide along, everything is quiet, you're protected from the weather, you're comfortable, and you've got that kind of slightly smug knowledge that you're getting over 70 to the gallon, but you're still gliding along at over 70 miles an hour. It's just perfect. So those are the two words that I would use when riding the Honda ADV350, tranquil and serene. Better go now, there's a car coming and run me over. So enough of that Zen nonsense. Hello, so welcome to a quick update of my Honda ADV350 scooter. Now I've owned the scooter for just over 12 months now. I don't know what I'm doing with this stick, let me just get rid of it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I've owned the scooter now for just over 12 months and it's just had its second service. So just a quick update. It's not a review, and I should add, I'm not a scooter expert. This is the only scooter I've ever owned, and I'm sure there's a million other scooters that are just as good, but this is the one that I got, the Honda ADV350. So after 12 months, what do I think of it? So as I say, I'm not going to do a review, but what have I found out? Has anything changed since I bought the scooter for the first time last year? Well, to be honest with you, no, there's nothing much more that I can say compared to my previous review. I continue to be impressed by the scooter completely. It's so easy to ride, and actually what I found is, you know, on longer rides, especially on bigger roads, you know, where sometimes you get a little bit bored, I don't know, it seems to give me a sense of absolute serenity when I'm riding it, as well as total comfort, and you know, that kind of northern thing that I know I'm getting great fuel economy as well. So yeah, I've not had any problems with it whatsoever. Now I know a few people have had a few issues with the keyless. Now I'm not a fan of the idea of keyless ignition, but I've had no problems with the implementation of the bike. It always unlocks, and I've had no problems starting the bike either. Now what I was told when I picked the bike up is that when you're in range, you push the central knob down before turning it, and then it turns blue, and that kind of indicates that the two things are paired properly. So I've just kind of done that naturally. I've never tried any other way. So push down and then turn the knob to whichever position that you need. I've had no problems with it. What else? Well, I'm still continue to be impressed by the performance. It actually feels as though it might be faster than my CL500. I mean, it gets up to 70, an indicated 70, 75, so easy. So yeah, I remain completely impressed with it. I just love the practicality. I can carry all my gear under the seat and on the top box. Supremely comfortable. I'll just move my water bottle here. Another thing, you see, when you stop, you've got a perch for your water bottle, which is always a good thing. But what I really like is, you know, just the variable seating position in terms of your legs. I just find that, you know, really fabulous. You know, you can stretch but still remain totally in control and on board the bike, you know, without having to dangle your legs over or anything like that. So very, very comfortable. So no, I've had zero problems with it. It remains comfortable, practical, nippy, and I think in any condition that I've ridden it, you know, from small roads like this to bigger roads, I've never had anything less than a feeling of absolute confidence in the scooter. I've never felt compromised by riding a scooter. So all in all, it's just been a really great experience owning it. And I think for me, I'm not a scooter fanboy. You know, I don't look at new scooters that are being launched, you know, in the way that I'm always staring at bikes all of the time. So yeah, there's that. Oh, and the only other thing I bought is a lever lock. Now it's just a cheap one from Amazon, cost me about 10-15 quid, and to be honest with you, it's not so much about security. You know, I'm not under any illusions as to how secure this device will be. I mean, probably just give it a stiff talking to and threaten it with a small spoon and it'll probably fall to pieces. The reason why I got it is that you don't have a braking lock on the bike, so you know, if you park on inclines or anything, especially on the side stand, you know, you've got no way of putting it into gear, because obviously it doesn't really have a gearbox, you know, like you would do on a normal motorbike. So I tend to use it as, yes, a bit of ad hoc security, but more from the perspective of being able to lock the brake on an incline. So a few people have asked me whether I'm going to keep the Honda ADV350. Now, when I originally bought it, it was designed to give me some confidence back after my accident nearly a couple of years ago now. And also I felt, well, if I could ride this and my mobility improved, then it's also kind of a stepping stone to getting back onto a motorbike. Now, as you may know, if you follow the channel, I can now ride a motorbike. So I've got a Honda CL500. So I guess the question is, if this was bought as a stepping stone, and am I going to keep it or am I going to move it on? Well, the answer is I'm going to keep it, because it's absolutely fabulous, and it's about as much scooter as I'll ever need, and it's about as much scooter as I'll ever want, so I don't really need anything else. But the reason why I'm keeping it is that it still remains supremely comfortable, and it's just so usable and practical. You know, I do all the shopping on it. I go out in all sorts of weather on it. And later on this year, I'm going to be taking it over to Europe and touring around the Netherlands and Belgium and Luxembourg and France, bits of the Alsace, and over to Switzerland to do the mountain passes. So it's now my touring machine. So I can't wait to do that. I'll probably do around 2,000 miles. So yes, I'm going to keep the ADV350. And now normally when I buy a new vehicle, a new bike, I tend to think of it in terms of the warranty period and that I'll move it on after 3 years. But I think with this, I'm not seeing any reason to do that, you know, unless it falls apart around me, which it isn't going to do. I see no reason why I won't keep it for 5 years or maybe even longer, you know, like 7 years. Because as I've said before, it's as much scooter as I'll ever need and I'll ever want. Now, unless Honda bring out something, or one of the other manufacturers bring out something which has something unique and totally different that I really want, then I might go for it. And one thing that I don't want is a bigger scooter, really, to be honest. I mean, this cruises easily an indicated 80 miles an hour. It's got tons of storage. It's really, really comfortable. So I think that 300 to 400cc range, MIDI scooters, I think they're called, you know, I think they really hit the sweet spot. Anything bigger starts getting a little bit heavy. Of course, you get more speed and maybe more handling, you know, particularly with the XADV, for example. But for me personally, this is enough scooter that I'll ever need and I'll ever want. So I'm going to keep it for the long term. And I know I've said that before, but I am going to keep it. So yeah, it's been a brilliant thing. And what else can I say? Well, I've got over my sense of scooter shame, you know, which is really more an indication of how completely shallow I am. But now, you know what? I just don't care. I feel sort of a little bit smug sometimes when I'm riding it because I'm really comfortable. It's really economical, and I'm kind of wafting along in this kind of serene, tranquil place. That's actually a good way of describing the Honda ADV350, actually. It's serene and it's tranquil, and you just kind of waft along and glide along effortlessly, you know, if I could say that word. It's absolutely brilliant. So that's it. Anything else I can say about the lovely ADV? Plastics are a bit plasticky, I guess, you know, and it's pretty much all made out of plastic. They do scrape a little bit. I don't think I've got any corrosion. I've got a few furry bits, you know, that kind of white furry stuff, but no, overall it's a great thing. And yeah, I'm not going to flog it. And let me just see what my average fuel consumption over the entire period is. Let's have a look. Turned on. Here we go. Average consumption is 79 miles to the gallon, and that's in mixed riding conditions. Okay, that's it from me. Great thing. I'm sure there's lots of other great scooters out there. I'm not a scooter expert, but this is a rather good device and machine. Oh, and if you see some things flying about like black flies and stuff, we're in the middle of the season for something called St. Mark's flies, and they're really horrible and sinister. They're kind of like black and droopy and look really mean and nasty. But anyway, yeah, that's it. So there we go. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. How about that for timing? Bloody brilliant. God, I can't get off now. Honda ADV350. It's a cracker. Honda ADV350. It's a cracker. And I forgot to say, I've got a new motorbike and I'm picking it up tomorrow. I can't wait. New motorbike, gorgeous sunny weather, set fair for a few days. Do you know what? I can't wait. And the motorbike in question is a, oh no, would you believe it, GoPro batteries go in.